This is Crime, Mr. Wade, bringing you the stories. Stay tuned for a lot more.
Today's unfortunate story is about a Nannie Doss, born Nancy Hazel, November 4th in the year 1905. She was an American serial killer responsible for the deaths of 11 people between sometime in the year of 1920 to the year of 1954. Doss was also referred to as the Giggling Granny, the Lonely Hearts Killer, the Black Widow, and the Lady Bluebird. Doss finally confessed to the murders in October of the year of 1954 after her fifth husband had died in a small hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In all, it was revealed that she had killed 4 husbands, 2 children, and 1 of her sisters, her mother, 2 grandsons, and a mother-in-law. Nannie was born on November 4th, year of 1905. She was born to Louisa Lou and James F. Hazel. Nannie was one of 5 children. She had 1 brother and 3 sisters. Both Nannie and her mother hated James, who was a controlling and abusive father and husband. James would force his children to work on the family farm, refusing to let the children go to school, resulting in Nannie's poor academic performance. At the age of 7, while the family was taking a train to visit relatives in southern Alabama, Nannie hit her head on a metal bar on a seat in front of her when the train suddenly stopped. For years after, she suffered severe headaches, blackouts, and depression. Doss blamed these and her mental instability on that accident. During her childhood, her favorite hobby was reading her mother's romance magazines and dreaming of her own romantic future. Furthermore, her favorite part was the Lonely Hearts column. Nannie's father forbade the Hazel sisters from wearing makeup and attractive clothing as he believed it would prevent them from being molested by men. He also forbade them to go to dances and other social events. Miss Nannie was first married at the age of 16 to Charlie Braggs, her co-worker at a linen factory. With her father's approval, they married after 4 months of dating. Charlie Braggs was the only son of a single mother who insisted on continuing to live with him after he married. Miss Nannie wrote this: "I married as my father wished. In 1921 to a boy I only knowed about 4 or 5 months who had no family. Only a mother who was unwed and who had taken over my life completely when we were married. She in fact never seen anything wrong with that she done, but she would take spells. She would not let my own mother stay all night." Mr. Bragg's mother took up a lot of his attention and limited Nannie's activities. The marriage produced 4 daughters from the year of 1923 to the year of 1927. The stressed-out Nannie started drinking, and her occasional smoking habit became a heavy addiction. Both unhappy partners correctly suspected each other of infidelity, and Braggs often disappeared for days on end. In the year of 1927, the couple lost their 2 middle girls to suspected food poisoning. Soon after, Braggs took Fishborn daughter Melvina and fled, leaving newborn Florina behind. Bragg's mother died much later, and Nannie took a job in a cotton mill to support Florine and herself. Braggs brought Melvina back in the summer of the year of 1928, accompanied by a divorce with her own child. Braggs and Nannie soon divorced, With Nannie taking her two girls back to her mother's home, Braggs always maintained he left her because he was frightened of her. Her second husband was Robert Franklin Harrelson. They met and married in the year 1929. They lived in Jacksonville with Melvina and Florine. After a few months, she discovered that he was an alcoholic and had a criminal record for assault. Despite this, the marriage lasted 16 years. Her daughter, Melvina, gave birth to Robert Lee Haynes in the year of 1943. Another baby followed 2 years later, but died soon afterwards. Exhausted from labor and groggy from ether, Melvina thought she saw her visiting mother stick a hat pin into the baby's head. When she asked her husband and sister for clarification, they said Nannie had told them the baby was dead, and they noticed that she was holding a pin. The doctors, however, could not give a positive explanation. The grieving parents drifted apart, and Melvina started dating a soldier. Nannie disapproved of him, and while Melvina was visiting her father after a particularly nasty fight with her mother, her son Robert died mysteriously under Nannie's care on July 7th, the year of 1945. The death was diagnosed asphyxia from unknown causes, and 2 months later, Nannie collected $500 life insurance policy she had taken out on Robert. In the year of 1945, Harrelson raped Nannie. The next day, she put rat poison in Harrelson's corn whiskey jar, and he died that morning. Nannie met her third husband, Artie Lanning, through another Lonely Hearts column while traveling in Lexington, North Carolina, and married him 3 days later. Like Harrelson, Nannie was an alcoholic, womanizer. However, in this marriage, it was Nannie who often disappeared, and for months on at a time. But when she was home, she played the doting housewife, and when he died of what was said to be heart failure, the townspeople supported her at his funeral. Soon after, the couple's house, which had been left to Lanning's sister, burned down. The insurance money went to Nannie, who quickly banked it. And after Lanning's mother died in her sleep, Nannie decided to leave North Carolina and ended up at her sister Dovey's home. Dovey was bedridden, and soon after Nannie's arrival, she died. Looking for another husband, Nannie joined a dating service called the Diamond Circle Club and soon met Richard L. Morton of Jamestown, North Carolina. They married in the year of 1952 in Emporia, Kansas. He did not have a drinking problem, but he was adulterous. Before she poisoned him, she poisoned her mother, Louisa, in January 1953 when she came to live with them. Morton died 3 months later on May 19th in the year of 1953. Miss Nannie married Samuel Doss of Tulsa, Oklahoma in June the year of 1953. Doss was a Nazarene minister who had lost his family to a tornado in Carroll County, Arkansas. Samuel disapproved of the romance novels and stories that his wife adored. In September, Samuel was admitted to the hospital with flu-like symptoms. The hospital diagnosed a severe digestive tract infection. He was treated and released on October 5th. Samuel died on October 12th, the year of 1954. Nannie killed him that evening in her rush to collect the 2 life insurance policies she had taken out on him. This sudden death alerted this doctor, who ordered an autopsy. The autopsy revealed a huge amount of arsenic in his system. Nannie was promptly arrested. Doss confessed to killing 4 of her husbands, her mother, her sister, her grandson, and her mother-in-law. The state of Oklahoma centered this case only around Samuel Doss. Nannie Doss was prosecuted by J. Howard Edmondson, who later became the governor of Oklahoma. She pleaded guilty on May 17th in the year of 1955 and was sentenced to life imprisonment. The state did not pursue the death penalty due to her sex. Doss was never charged with the other deaths. She died from leukemia in the hospital ward of Oklahoma State Penitentiary in the year of 1965. She is buried at Oak Hill Memorial Park in McAlester, Oklahoma. I hope you guys enjoyed this unfortunate story. I'm Mr. Wade and Mrs. Crime. And once again, we bring it to you.